How to simplify sentence stress. That's the topic for today's video lesson. Welcome to English Lessons with Benjamin. This channel is where English is learned and simplified. Kindly subscribe to this channel and make sure you also hit the notification bell so that when a new video is uploaded, you will be notified instantly. Let's get started. Hello everyone, my name is Benjamin. In today's lesson, we shall be examining how to simplify sentence stress. In our previous lesson, we discussed word stress, or what we can call syllable stress. Today we are discussing sentence stress. In sentence stress, we stress content words and unstress function words, thereby producing rhythm. English is a stress-timed language, and it is characterized by alternating stressed and unstressed syllables. So we shall be looking at how to simplify this and how to ensure that we use sentence stress accurately in order to communicate effectively. That is what today's video is all about. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like to have other lessons like this. Let's get started. How to simplify sentence stress. Now, content words are stressed in English and the function words are not stressed. That's the first thing we need to know in order to have clearer understanding of what sentence stress is about. The first thing we need to take note of is that content words are stressed. And what are content words? Content words are nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. Of course, when we say verbs, let's add the word main verbs. Take note of that because auxiliary verbs are not stressed because they belong to the function words. Then we have negatives. We also have demonstratives. And we have numbers. So these are regarded as content words. Now, example of nouns, names of persons, names of places, names of ideas, these are all content words. And why are content words stressed? The reason is simply that they carry meaning, they convey meaning, unlike the function words that do not contain meaning. Now, when we look at this example, now let's look at this. Rose is a girl, but John is a boy. Now, Rose is a noun, that's a content word. Then girl is also a noun, that's a content word. John is also a noun, a content word. And boy is also a noun. So you can see that these are all stressed. Now, if we remove all the other function words, if we just erase them from the sentence, we can still manage to convey some meaning. If we have Rose, girl, John, boy, it makes some meaning even though the sentence is incomplete. In other words, the content words are the most important words in a sentence. The other function words are important, but not as important as the content words, because the function words do not carry meaning. They are only used for grammatical purpose to, we squash them in between the content words just to fill the gap and make the sentence grammatically correct. So that is exactly. So the first thing we need to understand is that content words are stressed, and let's now look at the second point that we ought to look at. Let's look at the second thing we need to know about sentence stress. Function words are unstressed. That means we do not stress the function words. And what are the function words? Pronouns such as he, she, I, we. Prepositions such as in, on, at. Articles such as are, and, the. Then we have conjunctions like and, but, for, so. Then auxiliary verbs such as am, is, was, can, must. These are function words. They are not stressed in English sentences. Let's look at this example. Let's identify the function words. Mark plays football, but his sister plays tennis. Now, Mark is a content word, plays is a verb, a content word. Football is a noun, a content word. Then this is a conjunction, but, which is a function word. His is a pronoun, is a function word. Then sister is a noun, content word. Plays again is a verb, content word. Tennis is a noun, content word. So you can see the way it is sentence stress is used. Mark plays football, but his sister plays tennis. So we do not pronounce this. If you watch, you discover that the stressed words are said louder and longer, while the other ones are shortened. And that is exactly the way English sentence stress occurs. Let's look at the third tip. The third thing we need to take note of about sentence stress is that the time between stressed words is always the same. We have already noted that stressed words are content words. Now let's look at this example. Cats kill rats. We have rather three. We have only three words here. Cats kill rats. 3 words. They are all content words. Then the second one, the cats kill the rats. Now, when we look at it, what we are saying is that the stressed syllables are said at approximately regular intervals, and the unstressed syllables are merely, shortened to fit the rhythm, because the rhythm is the regular alternation. Now let's try to look at the rhythm. La, 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 la. Now that's the rhythm of the English language. The stressed words go up, the unstressed words come down, and this regular pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables gives English its rhythm. Now let's look at this. Cats kill rat. The cats kill the rat. Cats are killing rats. The cats are killing the rats. Now, when we keep the rhythm, we discover that even though there are 5 words in this sentence, there are only 3 words that are stressed. There are 5 words in this sentence, but there are only 3 words that are stressed. Similarly, there are 6 words in this last sentence, yet there are only 3 words that are stressed. And that, that compels each sentence to utilize the same time as the other. So the time it takes us to say the 3 words here is the same with the time it takes us to say the 5 words here. And the reason is the squeezing in or the shortening of the function words. Now let's look at the function words here. Well, let's look at the function words. The here is a function word. The here also is a function word. The word are is a function word. Then that is exactly. This one is simply an unstressed syllable, which is part of the word kill. And again here we have that this is a function word. This is also a function word, and this is also a function word. So in each case, we have only 3 words left that are stressed, and that is cats kill rats. Again here, cats kill rats. Again here, cats kill rats. Again here, cats kill rats. Now let's look at this one. Of course, we ought not to, because it is 2 syllables, only the word kill is stressed, the other one is unstressed. So that is exactly what sentence stress is about. And stress timing is used by it enables speakers to convey meaning. Now that is exactly one of the things you ought to know that will enable you to simplify sentence stress. Let's look at the next one. The 4th thing we need to take note of about sentence stress is that the rhythm of English is maintained by the alternating patterns of stressed and unstressed syllables. And as explained earlier, in English sentences, content words are stressed, function words are unstressed, and that is just the pattern. That is the alternating pattern of stressed and unstressed syllables that maintains the English rhythm. And rhythm is musicality. That is rhythm. And so when we look at this, Rose is a girl. Rose is a girl, but John is a boy. Now let's try to produce it in the way that highlights the rhythm. Rose is a girl, but John is a boy. Now we look at it. Rose, girl, John, boy, these are content words, and they are all stressed. We say them louder and longer. Is a, but, and is a are function words. So we do not say them longer, we do not say them louder, we shorten them. And that is what English stress is about. That alternation, that alternating patterns, the alternating patterns of stressed and unstressed syllable maintains the rhythm of English. And when you bear this in mind, it enables you to simplify sentence stress. Let's look at the next point. Number 5, strong and weak forms. This also we need to bear in mind, that content words are treated as strong forms, but function words are treated as weak forms. They are treated as weak forms. Now let's look at this. The rat ran into the hole. Rat is strong, ran is strong, hole is strong. And when we look at these 3 strong words, rat, ran, hole. Now, even if we remove the other ones, thereby making the sentence incomplete, yet we can figure out some meaning out of the 3 content words that make up the sentence. Rat, ran, hole. And if someone says this, you can figure out the other ones. But if we remove these ones and we say the into the, it doesn't make any sense at all. So that is exactly the reason why content words are stressed in English, because they are the words that convey meaning, they carry meaning in themselves, and they are the most important words in a sentence. You can see that when we remove the function words, the 3 words left can convey some meaning. And so that is exactly the way it is. Another name for function words is empty words. Empty in the sense that they do not carry meaning in themselves. They are just used to join the content words together. So we squeeze them in between the content words to complete the sentence. So we treat them as weak ones. But one other thing we ought to know is that even these function words, in some cases, they have weak and strong forms. But that's a topic for another day. When we want to emphasize them in certain linguistic environment, then of course we can have a strong form of even the function words. But in normal, speech, of course, they are unstressed while the content words are stressed. Let's look at the next one. The next thing we ought to take note of concerning sentence stress is the concept of lingering and rushing. In English speech, we linger on content words, but we rush through function words. That should be taken note of, and that will enable you to simplify English stress. That means when it comes to content words, we linger on it a little, we linger on it longer, and then the function words, we just rush through them. Now, let's look at I looked in the room for the purse, but it wasn't there. Now, let's encircle the function words. Again, we can see here, looked, room. Of course, we ought to also capitalize room. It's a content word. Looked, room, purse wasn't there. You can see that even when we remove the function words, the content words give us some meaning. Looked, room, purse wasn't there. So when we say this sentence, we ought to rush through the function words. I looked in the room for the purse, but it wasn't there. I looked in the room for the purse, but it wasn't there. I looked in the room for the purse, but it wasn't there. Now, just something like that. But the idea here is that we shorten the function words and then we prolong the content words. That's the idea. And that gives us the rhythm la, 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 la. Of course, the rhythm is maintained by the alternating patterns of stressed and unstressed syllable. And that is the much we can take. But before we call it a day, I need to explain that there are exceptions. Let me give you an example of the exceptions. When we stress, when we have to emphasize a point or draw the listener's attention to a given piece of information, then we may break the rule of sentence stress, and sometimes we may even have to stress the function words for emphasis. So let me explain this to you briefly. This is a conversation between speaker A and speaker B. And A says, "They've done their convocation, haven't they?" And B replies, "No, they haven't, but we have." Now in this, you remember that they and we are pronouns. And in normal English speech, they are not stressed. They are among the function words that are unstressed. But because there is need for emphasis and contrast, because the question is, they've done their convocation. And then the speaker is stressing the point that they haven't, but we have. And so that's the need for stressing this, and this is what we call emphatic stress, emphatic, or contrastive. Emphatic or contrastive stress. And this is the topic for another day, but just to give you an idea of the exception to the rule, because usually to every rule there is usually an exception. So this is the exception to the rule of sentence stress, and this is how it has been on today's video. I want to thank you for watching. We've been able to look at how to simplify sentence stress. I hope you have learned certain things that will enable you to look at sentence stress as a very simple subject from now onwards. So thank you for watching. If you like, if you want to watch other videos like this, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you in the next video, and bye for now.